So as always, let's dive into Davinci Resolve to show you how it's done. But please note that this is a long tutorial, so try not to skip any part because it gets confusing if you skip any part. So let's start. So for that, come to Effects. Under Effects, bring in a Fusion composition like so. Then let's come to Fusion. So you'll have something like this. I'm going to bring this media out here. Bring in a background node and just join it like this. So it's a black background. I'm not going to change anything. Now let's create our grid. So for that, shift spacebar, search for grid, this one right here, press add. Now I'm going to increase the row to something like 17 and increase the column to something like 27 and reduce this major line width like so. And I'm going to change the color of the grid to something like black until it's like barely visible. Okay, and after this, shift spacebar, I'm going to bring in a vignette. So you can see the corners are not very visible. I'm going to increase the size to a little bit. Now let me bring in our gradient. So I've downloaded a gradient video right here. So I just bring it here and join it like this. So as you can see, it's the resolution is different because my timeline is 4K, but this video is not 4K. So to change that one, select this one, shift spacebar, bring in resize. So it will automatically convert it to a 4K image. Now after this, let's bring in a blur node and let me increase the blur. Now let's bring in our mask. So I'll bring in a rectangular node like this and join it here and reduce the width, reduce the height, increase the corner radius and increase the soft edge. And after this blur, I'll bring in a transform and I'll increase the size to a little bit. Okay, so you have a nice gradient happening in the background. Okay, now let's create our liquid glass. So for that, what I have to do is let me bring in one more merge node. So to create the liquid glass, you need to follow these steps each time. For any project, you have to follow the same exact steps. So for that, first thing, I have to bring in a displace node. Make sure you bring in this node and not the displace 3D. And from this, join it to this merge node right here. And from this merge, it will go to the yellow input. So once you have this, now let's bring in our shape to create that liquid glass. So I'm going to bring in a rectangular node. And from the output of this, it should go to the green input of the displace. Make sure it's to the green input and not to the blue. And from here, one more output, it will go to the blue input of this merge node. I know it's quite confusing, but these are the steps you need to follow each time you want to create liquid glass. Now in this displace node, I'm going to change the value of offset to -1 and change the refraction strength to -4. Then you create the shape in the rectangle. I'm going to reduce the width, reduce the height, increase the corner radius to something like this. Okay, and in the displace node, now you can increase the spread to get that nice liquidy glass effect. Now to really make this even pop, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to move this here and I'm going to bring in one more merge node. And to this merge node, I'm going to copy this gradient along with the resize node. So copy, paste, join it to the green input like this. And also the resize, and also copy this particular rectangular node to here and join it to the blue input of this gradient. So we'll have this nice glowing looking liquid glass effect. Now let's animate our shape. So for that, what I have to do is you come to this rectangle node. I'm going to keyframe on the width here. I'm going to reduce it all the way until something like this. Then I'm going to go 8 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to increase the width all the way than required. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to reduce it a bit more than required. then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, increase it to a little bit. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reduce it a little more. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where I want this position to be. So this is the last keyframe. I'll adjust it like so. So you'll have this nice bouncy effect. Now let's come to spline and select this rectangular node and Control A, press S on the keyboard to smoothen it out. Now under settings, you can enable motion blur and increase the quality to a little bit. So you'll have this nice, bouncy kind of effect. Now instead of this rectangle, I'm going to delete this rectangle. I'm going to copy this rectangle and then paste it here. So that effect is applied on the other rectangle as well. So once you have the shape, now let's bring in our text. So let me move the media out here, bring in a text node and join it to the merge node. It will automatically create a merge node. In this text, I'm going to type something like Dehancer films, and I'm going to change this to inter light. And after this text, I'm going to bring in a transform node and then reduce the size and place it somewhere here. Let's do an animation for this text. So for that, come to text, right click, select follower. Once you click that, a new tab will open called modifiers, and in the delay, I'm going to put something like 1.2. Then you come to transform. You need to do keyframing on this offset. So let me see where it is. Once the box appears, maybe somewhere around 12 frame, I'll hit a keyframe on Y. So as soon as I click a keyframe, another window will open. You don't have to do anything. Come back to follower. Let me go to like 10 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mark a keyframe here. And in the first keyframe, I'm going to change it somewhere like this. So you'll have a nice falling title like this. Now you need to smoothen this out. For that, come to spline, press this one, Control A, right click, ease, out cubic. Now you need to change the opacity as well. So come to shading. In the same keyframe as you created this offset, create a keyframe on opacity. And in this frame, create a keyframe here. In the first keyframe, reduce the opacity all the way to 0. So you'll have something like this. Cool. Now let's bring in our next subscribe tab. For that, what I have to do is bring in a background node, just join it like this. And I'll bring in a rectangular node, join it to the background and reduce the height, reduce the width, increase the corner radius, something like this. Now to move it around, shift spacebar, transform, and I'm going to move it somewhere around here. Now what you can do is you can do the same set of keyframe like to bring in that animation. I want to start somewhere when the animation of the other box is complete, somewhere here. I will begin my animations. So I'll do same thing. I'll mark a keyframe on width and reduce it all the way to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Increase the width to a little more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Reduce the width. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Increase it to a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reduce it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like so. Now again, select all. Press S on your keyboard. So now you have something like this. Okay, cool. Now let's bring in our another title. So bring in a text node, join it like this. And in this text, I'm going to type subscribe, change it to inter, black, and bring in a transform, reduce the size and position it somewhere here. Maybe reduce the size to a little more, something like this. Now let's animate the text. Again, same thing. Right click, follower. Under modifiers, select delay 1.2. And under transform, let's see where you want the transition to happen. So once the box appears, maybe somewhere here. Now I want to change the transition, not the same for falling down transition. Here I'm going to change the characters to words, and I'm going to mark an offset in Y. Then come to 10 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, once you hit keyframe, another window is opening. You don't want this. Come back to follower, offset, again mark keyframe here. In the first keyframe, you move it a little bit up. Again, smoothen it out. Control A, right click, ease out cubic. Now again, let's do the opacity. In this keyframe, I'll mark an opacity keyframe. In this, I'll mark another keyframe, and in the first one, all the way to 0. So you'll have something like this. Okay, now let's bring in our arrow. So I have an arrow here. I'll join it to the merge node like so. It will create another merge node. Shift spacebar, transform, reduce the size, and move it somewhere here. Now let's mark a keyframe for the position of the mouse. So as soon as this happens, the title comes. Okay, somewhere here, I'm going to mark a keyframe on the center. So at this frame, I want the mouse to be out of frame. And maybe somewhere here, I'll bring the mouse right to this. And this path is very linear, so what I can do is I'll just bend it and press this one, and you can find a smooth curve like this. So it'll have a nice slow path. And come to spline, Control A, press S, and press T to increase the ease in value to something like 85. So you have a nice motion for the mouse. What I want to do is I want to make the mouse hover over it. So I'll create a camera shake. So shift spacebar, camera shake, press add, reduce the speed, and reduce the overall strength to something like this. So it'll like hover around gently like this. Now we need to change the color of this particular window as soon as the mouse hits it. So for that, you need to find the rectangular node. It's this one right here. So let's see where the mouse hits that rectangular node. So I'll come to background, mark a keyframe on the color. And as soon as the mouse touches this particular button, I'm going to mark a keyframe here. And in this, I'm going to change the color to something a bit more light. So you can see that as soon as the mouse hits this point, changes color. Now to enable that click motion, what you can do is come to the mouse. You can do a keyframe on the size. So somewhere here, I'll mark a keyframe. Then 1, 2, I will mark a keyframe. Again 1, 2, I'll mark a keyframe. And in the middle keyframe, I'll just lower it to a little bit. So you'll have a nice click animation happening. Let's smoothen this out. So just highlight it. Press S on your keyboard. Similarly, you can keyframe the button also, like you can play with the size, but I'm not doing that here. Now, as soon as you click, you want this text to change to subscribed. So for that, what I have to do is bring in this particular text and the transform, copy, and I'm going to paste it in between. Let me move this here and join it to the merge. And in this text, I'm going to type subscribed. Now you need to play with the merge. So let's see, let me just turn off this merge for now to see where it is happening. So as soon as the title comes, the mouse comes, it clicks, As soon as it releases somewhere here, you bring in this keyframe tab and you need to play with the keyframe. If no window is happening here, just press a keyframe button on any of these. So I'm going to press a keyframe button on size and just reduce it like this until that playback. And in this particular merge node, decrease it from the other end, like so. So you can see subscribe will come and then the mouse arrow will click and the subscribed option has come. Now let's create an outro for this mouse animation. So after clicking subscribe, let the mouse go away from the frame. So I'm going to mark a keyframe here. And then after 10 frames, I'm going to move the mouse to somewhere like this. Again, you can change this to a curve, smoothen this out also. Press S, change the ease in to something like 85. So cool. So almost everything is done. You have the title, then you have the subscribe button, and then the arrow clicked, and then the arrow disappears. So in the intro, as you can see, there is a nice zoom in happening. For that, what I did is I just brought in an adjustment clip on top of the fusion composition, and I have keyframed yaw and the zoom. So in the first frame, I've increased the zoom and the yaw to something like this. And in the next keyframe, I've brought back the yaw to 0 and the size to 1. And then under the keyframes section, I've smoothened it out like this. So for smoothening it out, you just select the point, and under this, there is an option, ease in and ease out. So pretty much everything else is the same. Now I have an easy drag and drop liquid glass template which you can check out in the description. I've been getting a lot of good reviews about this, so do check it out. I will leave it in the description. So that's pretty much it for this video. For those who don't know, I'm Fenzer. I do travel, tech and filmmaking on this channel. So if you're into that sort of stuff, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one.